So welcome everybody. Today is a bit more charged topic, as I'm sure a lot of people have already seen the video ad from Gillette company, and it is really turning some dust among men. If you've seen the video, it talks about toxic masculinity and how it shows up in our society, and I think at the moment it has almost 1 million dislikes, mostly from men, and it's playing a lot on their original video on YouTube. I'm seeing on Facebook a little bit a different story, but I just want to highlight the main comments that show up on their YouTube channel, and discuss it, because it's not a little thing that almost 1 million men dislike this video. So I think there's a lot behind it, and I want to start by saying that I hold each and every one of you in the biggest regard, no matter what is your opinion on this topic. And just to give a little information about me and why you should listen to me, because I am working as a transformational men's coach, so I work solely with men, and I could say that it is the men who choose to work with me are those who are really ready to step into another level of their being as a person, but also as a man, to tune into the entire depth of who they are and to discover their unique gifts, but also to tune into the inner balance of being, of finding both that masculine power, but also being content and empowered with their emotional state, you know, their inner state, their intuitive state. And I could say that for the men who are stepping up into such a paradigm of inner power and authenticity would not be so triggered by this video. On the contrary, because they already risen above this, they're already feeling aware and empowered of who they are as a man, and they don't need to be told, they don't need to be put in the spotlight, because they are already comfortable and visible with who they are as a man. So I think this is the main key of the men I work with, and the results have been amazing in a deep transformation and breakthrough. So just a quick note about me, and so I've written down the top comments that show up in the thread. So number 1 says that the video implies that most men are bullies, rapists, and it's okay, but some are not. So I feel with this video is that a lot of men, or most men, are feeling that Gillette or this video is really pointing the finger directly at them, like it makes them appear guilty of whatever is being discussed in this video, where it's bullying or sexist behavior or toxic behavior. So I feel with this video that men are being put on the spot, and they are taking it very personally. And by reading all the comments, it shows that they are really triggered by this message. But it's not speaking to all the men. The message is really to the men who are guilty of behaving in such a way. I think that everybody can be honest with themselves and know exactly if they in the past have been making sexist comments about women, or if they have been bullying someone, or if they have been involved in aggressive behavior that involved someone, I don't know, getting hurt. So it's really about the more the aggressive type of behavior that is being addressed here. And then what comes up a lot is really fallback against the brand identity itself, like who is Gilette to make this comment, and you know, your job is to sell razors and it's not your job to put some propaganda in our face. And maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but I was just thinking, like, so if it's not up to Gilette to make such a contribution, then who can? Maybe it's your best friend who brings up this topic. Maybe it is someone else in your environment who has experienced such behavior and who wish to bring it up. Or I've seen in the past already a lot of male influencers and male coaches who brought the attention to the same topics that are going on in this video, and then the reaction was more positive to it. So is the dislike against the brand message, or is it against the message in general? Because I'm reading also through some comments that some men say, you know, I agree that some men do, but not all, right? So it's a million dislikes. Where is the balance between attacking the brand or disliking the message? Another comment says that men are tired of being called toxic. There is a hate on the modern man, but there are also toxic females, and they are taking the sides of the feminist. There is an agenda to emasculate men. They try to shame us, they try to insult us. The anti-male movement will turn us into monsters that they think we are. It says that I am a sexist, abusive, and rapist. This is quite heavy statements, because if you are looking for an excuse to bring such behavior, then to behave as a monster, as this man wrote, then it's I have to call bullshit on that, because the only one who is in control of his actions are you. You are the one who is taking the action. You are the one who is deciding how are you gonna respond in a certain situation. Not because there's a movement that says you are a bad person that you have to give in and to start behaving like a bad person. I think this is just a cheap excuse to behave and to hide behind the bigger message. I will talk later about the comments about against toxic females, because of course they are. This is playing between both genders, right? So we're not going to generalize the issue. And then another comment speaks about positive masculine actions, such as approaching women and boys playing tough or being demonized, these experiences are integral parts of growing into a well-rounded man. Men's masculinity is going down. Women will be lonely in this society that demonizes and stereotypes men. I could say that this all depends on how you decide to show up as a man. Approaching women can be done from an empowering state where you own what you are doing, whether it's flirting, where you are dating. It all depends on how you show up and with what energy that you are showing up. If you're showing up with an energy that is needy, that is almost like a predator, almost with a needy state of I want, then of course women are going to pick up on this, and you might not get the response that you are looking for. But if you're showing up with an open mentality and that you're really showing that you have a person in front of you, that you are genuinely interested in this woman, and that you are showing up authentic as yourself, then I don't see an issue with approaching a woman. It all depends on your energy and how your mindset is at the moment. And about the boys, because there's also in the video they say boys will be boys, that boys can't play anymore. I can say that my son is now 4 years old, and all I see in his classroom is how aggressive the boys are playing. I can't even call it playing sometimes. It's punching, it's pushing, it's even bullying. And it surprises me that for such a young age that they already have so much aggressivity in them. Even at the age of 3 years old, my son already got a bruised eye from another very aggressive little boy. So it shows that it starts at a young age, and it shows that it's important that how we show up as role models for our kids and what surroundings that we bring to them. It starts very importantly from such a young age, and I think it's sad that there's already so much aggressive behavior and bullying, especially in schools. If you look on the internet, it's full of bullying stories. So that's why I think the men who are bringing negative comments saying, you know, it's not toxic, like it is very present in today's society. And yes, about how the society is stereotyping men, I think also men are stereotyping themselves, how they are showing up and trying to fit into a certain role and into a certain character of what it means or what it looks like to be masculine. Like masculine nowadays is that you have to be muscled and you have to be big and you have to be you have to look like the alpha, you have to show that you have power, you have to have the money. Like it's really putting a high level of requirements to be even be named masculine nowadays. So I think a lot of men are also stereotyping themselves. I was reading on Instagram today that someone was promoting a watch, and he says a watch means that you are responsible and you are an adult man. And I was thinking, wow, there are a lot of men who wear a watch, and it doesn't mean that they're all adults or responsible in their lives, right? So it's again about the message that you bring out, that it's not always coherent with what is the reality. And what showed up a lot in the comments was the resentment and aggressivity towards women, but also the bullying of other men. Like, I study a lot and I do a lot of research, but I've never heard of the name soy boy. Like, it is really a big insult to name your fellow men soy boy and other comments just because they are not living up to the standard of what it is to be a man. Like, masculinity, every man is by definition a man. Doesn't mean if you are more muscled or if you're more in tune with your feminine energy that it makes you less as a man. Like, I was really how the men are fighting against this message of toxic masculinity, while at the same time they manage to bully other men in the process. So for me, it doesn't give a lot of credibility. Even one man spoke about his kids, like, they have to learn the hard manly way. I don't want to be raising pussycats. I mean, I find it really offensive that you still need this approach to raising a boy, because it's clear that at a elder age that is exactly what those men are having issues with tuning into their emotions, because they've never been taught, or it was punished to show vulnerability. It seems to be punished that you are just showing up as yourself. And that is exactly what shows up a lot in my sessions, that these men have such a armor on themselves, an emotional armor, where they are hiding on the inside who they truly are, and on the outside is showing up how they think they have to show up. And it can be very challenging to break through that armor sometimes, because there's a lot of deep and dark and painful emotions that have built up probably already from childhood, right? So I don't think that this is the message to that we have to be harder on our boys. They also deserve hugs, and they also deserve kisses and love. I think that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm really trying to monitor both sides of empowerment, but also honoring that they are little boys. They deserve love and really compassion. So for the fathers out there, don't ignore this message. And I think a lot of the comments are based on what each individual man sees in front of them. Maybe for them they say, but I'm not a bully, I'm not sexist, like I don't behave that way, or in my environment I don't see that. And maybe that's why they dislike this message. But if we look, the statistics out there really show that there's a lot of aggression and sexual abuse that is going on in our society. Every day there are new posts about sexual abuse and murder. So it's something that we cannot ignore. And so from all these dislikes, over 1 million dislikes, all I'm seeing, all I'm reading is about boycotting the company. They say, I'm not going to buy their products anymore, I'm done. I dislike this company. or the shaming of other men, and also the backlash towards women. Um, but what I'm missing is actually the ownership of the reality. I'm missing the comment from a man that says, I agree with this message, but I am not like that. I know that there are men who are bullying and who are aggressive and who are raping women, who are murdering. I know that these men are out there, and that's why we are bringing this to the surface. We are bringing this into the awareness. I am aware of that. But I take a stand that I am not like that. This is something that I was missing in the comments. They were all playing a victim. They were all playing a victim. They were like, oh, look at how bad they are talking about men. And it's really showing how they are being led by the fear. The fear of being put on the spot. The fear of, am I masculine enough? Is this what is masculine? The fear of being judged. The fear of being played out against women. And what I would like to see from this video, like over 1 million men dislike the video. I would like to see that all these men unite and take a stand for how they want to show up, to take an empowered stand and speak out about what it means for them to be a man, what it means for them, what is true masculine for them. And then you will tune into the qualities of a warrior. A warrior is someone who goes to battle, who stands up for what he believes in, but he does it grounded. He does it with grace. He doesn't need to use aggression. He doesn't need to bully other people, other men. I'm really missing this from this video. So and on the other side, I also want to bring praise to the men, because it takes courage also to say, like, I'm not like that. And sometimes you have to stand up and take that message against men around you, against your friends, against other people who are close to you. And I read also in the comments, like, but what about how men feel? What about what men want? What about our rights as fathers? And I feel that this is also a moment that men can unite and to fight for their rights. If we see how women have evolved, like in the past, women, they didn't have a voice, they didn't have rights, they were just put into this box of being a wife, being a mother, and that was it. And women said, we had enough. We are going to unite and we are going to fight for our rights. And so they went to battle, you know, and look how they are thriving now. And I wouldn't say maybe all of them were thriving, because I think a lot of women are exhausted with battling all the time. But I think maybe the paradigm is shifting, and as women are really evolved, that now it's up to men to follow up with that. And now it's men who have to unite and fight for their rights, as, you know, having more rights as a father, and I think also the way men want to be um, seen in society, especially from the feminine view, and relating to the numerous comments about, okay, but what about women? There's also a lot of toxic femininity, and do women have no role in this? And of course women have a role in this, because I've said it in other videos, to me this is not a battle between the sexes. This is not women against men. At the end, we have to find our way to reunite. And it's, I think for women, with the Me Too movement, they have shown now that they have shown how they want to be treated by men. They say, we're not going to take the bullshit anymore. We don't want to be seen as sexist object. So for women, they are even more standing up for what they want, and I don't feel men are doing that enough. The masculine energy is all about taking inspired action, to have focus, to set intention, to commit, to make things happen. And I feel that besides all this barking, that men are not really truly inspired to take a stand. And I wonder why. I think they have to find their inner power to make it happen. Especially that's what I see in my work. And the side from women, like, they are fighting for more rights, they are fighting for equal rights, to be more visible, to be more respected. But on the other side, they also have to tune in more to the masculine. They have to show respect. They have to show that they trust the masculine. But that goes along with how the men are showing up. If you're not committed, if you're not focused, if you are not truly showing up, if you're just flaky, then you can't expect that the feminine and the women are going to trust you. So I think the rise of both goes hand in hand. The more men will show up and say, this is not me, I'm not this toxic character, because I choose to show up like empowered and grounded and authentic in who I am. Especially for men, it starts by tapping into who you truly are as a man before you can go dominate the world. I have a few clients who have big aspirations of thriving in their society, of thriving in the world, even to dominate the world. So my clients have really big goals, they have big dreams, and from one side you need to take the actions, you need to have everything in order to make it happen. But everything, the true power is behind the scene. And that is where we tune in more into the feminine, the softness, the intuitive, the emotional, because that is happening on the invisible side. Everything else, the masculine play, is on the outside. But to start growing, you have to combine both, the inside and the outside. So it's I understand that it's a very charged topic, because there's also different nuances that are playing, but I think it's important that we keep a bigger vision of where we want to take this. And if some men are saying, oh, we are going to behave as they think we are, then that is not, for me, this is not progress. This is not progress. I see if you want to play into this small box of this is masculine, then it's very restrictive. I don't see how you can grow without tuning into all the different aspects of how you can show up as a man, and the same goes for women. So it's all this bullying and name calling is very negative vibration. I've not even read one empowering message in those hundreds, thousands of comments. Like, I was busy yesterday trying to add positive notes to all the comments, but it's too much. That's why I decided to make this video, because I get the underlying anger, but it's also up to each man to look in the mirror and say, okay, how am I showing up? Am I showing up as the person, the man I want to be, or can I fine-tune certain points? And also standing up against such toxic behavior, because you know it's not you. That is not you as a man, but it also takes guts to show up against such behavior, because it might even bring you into trouble. There's been a lot of men who get also involved in the fight. So it takes guts to show up and to stand up against such toxic behavior done by other men. I think that is the message that we hear from the influencers, that men have to hold other men accountable. I think it's time to look in the mirror and to really ask yourself the question, like, am I capable of doing that? Am I willing to do that? I hope this video has brought you some new awareness. It's not my desire to put more oil on the fire, but I think that there's a lot of truth in this message, and that each and every one of you, men and women, you have ownership of your behavior and your actions. Nobody is making you do anything against your will. It's by your own choice. And that is what we have to live with. My goal is for all of us to move forward and to find ourselves again, because I feel that we are not finding ourselves, men and women. I'm happy I brought out this message, because yesterday, reading all the comments, it was really triggering for myself, because I see the amazing results that my clients have. So I know what is possible when men tune into themselves, and I am aware that this is not for everybody. It takes a higher vision. It is required that you have a burning desire to want more for yourself. And as I said, the solution sometimes is within instead of on the outside. If you find this video interesting and you think that maybe you want to share that with your fellow friends and males, then please share this video so that we can also bring another aspect of this triggering video. And if you like to learn more about my work,